Hi everyone, Ben and Kate here, and what we are going to do is we're going to talk you through how to actually navigate the content in this course. So you might open up the section or toggle the section for each week and think, how do I actually go through the content? So we're going to take you through that now. So let's jump in. So when you first jump onto the Moodle page, what you'll notice is there's all your assessment at the top of the page, and then all of the weeks will populate underneath here. At the moment, we're looking just at week 1. So what you can see is there are a couple of things that you will that you use in conjunction with each other to navigate the content. So the first thing that you have are notes, and then you have quizzes. So let's have a look at them. This is what the notes look like. So you have the learning outcomes for that lesson at the top. That's always the first page. And then as we go through, you can see that there's information, there's different links, and there's different images. So let's just go a quick scroll. Okay, cool. So now you can see that there are videos here, screenshots of videos. So these are actually linked to videos, the lecture learning videos on YouTube. So what you can do is you can click on that, preferably open it up in a new tab. But what this does is it links you through to the video that is associated with that content. Now, whenever there is a video associated with content, that will also populate into this, this quiz here. So let's have a look at that, because sometimes what happens is we record a video and then we pose a question to you in that video and we want you to answer that question. So let's go attempt. You have to attempt quiz now, but the quiz is not for marks. This does not count towards your final mark at all. It's just easier for you to input answers and for us to track those answers if we set it up as a quiz, but you don't get any marks for it. So you do, however, get feedback for it. So if you enter in stuff and it's wrong, we give you feedback for that. So for example, as you're watching this first video, we ask you to tell us your favorite unit, tell us below, and we're actually going to keep an eye on these. So make sure you do.
Yeah, it's hard to get that one wrong.
It is hard to get that one wrong. There are some in which you can get wrong, such as your favorite telescope. If it's not Ben's favorite, it's probably the incorrect answer.
We have strong opinions in this course.
True. So here you can see there's actually a numerical question for you to try. Let me just put in some bum answers. So here I've okay, how fast is the Earth orbiting the sun? I've said it's 1 kilometer an hour. If we click check, we actually come up with some feedback. So, you watch this video about velocities and then you attempt a question that tests your knowledge on how well you've kind of covered that. So then you do that, and then when you get to the end, you can just click finish attempt. It's just like a regular quiz. Submit all and finish. Great, and then it tells you which questions you got wrong and right. And you can always go back and have a look. These are unlimited attempts, so go back and have a look as many times as you want. But there are only these sort of lecture quizzes associated with lessons that have videos attached to them. So that is how you use the notes in conjunction with these lecture quizzes. So Ben, do you want to tell us about what else we can see on this page?
Yeah, so, and let's just to say it again, to reiterate that those quizzes are not for marks. It's for learning. It's to make sure you understand what's going on. And there are quizzes associated with each week that are for marks. So don't forget about those, but they're not these. They're up in the quizzes section, and there's a separate video for those. Kate mentioned the lesson 1 notes, or lesson whatever for each week. There's also extra notes, non-assessed. There are some things that we just wanted to give a little extra information on, things that are interesting for whatever reason that you might want to know more about. But it's not really part of the course in that there's not a quiz associated with it.
And we don't assess you on this content. This is just extra stuff.
Right. This is, I want to learn a little more about a thing. This is something we find cool, want to share. And so you can read through these and ask us questions about them, ask fellow students questions about them, talk about them in discussions. But those are there for your learning. And then for each week, there will also be a conceptual quiz that's not for marks. If you want to test your own understanding, this is set up again as a Moodle quiz.
Again, not for marks.
Again, not for marks. Let it pop up here. There it goes. And so it's a series of, in this case, 10 conceptual questions associated with that week.
Oh, I should say too, these are pulled from a bank of questions. So when you do the quiz, you're not always necessarily going to get the same questions. It's just a nice little, like, quick check of your own knowledge.
Yeah, and you can take this quiz as many times as you want. It's set up to just do it an infinite number of times. And so I'm also going to pick, what do you call them earlier, bum answers?
Wrong answers, I guess, is another way to say that.
So I just pick a few answers, check, and you'll get right away instantaneous feedback on what's reasonable and what isn't. My answer is partially correct. And so you can do this as many times as you need while you're trying to understand how well you understand the material. If you have questions, you really don't understand something, you can post in the forums, you can bring it to a discussion section and talk about it there. So that is the practice quiz. And then below that, there's resources from the face-to-face tutorial class. So once a week, there's a in-person tutorial with a tutor. And after that session, any resources, questions that are gone through in that, lab activities that are practiced, anything that comes up will get posted there. Often won't be before. In this case, there is something for this week, for week 1, that's posted already. But in general, they'll get posted after the tutorials. You can go back and reflect on what you learned, what you went through. If there's anything that's confusing, go visit it later and really try to understand it there. And so each week that'll appear as well. And that's pretty much a week of content.
Yes. So hopefully you understand that a bit better now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Otherwise, good luck and have fun.